Yeshiva, Hanhala, board, parents, and students of TTB, to welcome each of you, parents, grandparents, family, and friends, to TTB's second annual commencement exercises. As we see our graduates sitting up here today, our young men ready to move on to the next stage of their lives, our hearts are bursting with pride, seeing everything they have accomplished to get to this point, and as well with the tefillos, hopes, and dreams for the bright future that we are all anticipating. Today is the day of celebration as we look ahead, as well as a day of reflection, where we look back and appreciate just how far we've come. It feels like yesterday, but it was 4 years ago, on a warm, sunny September morning, a group of impressionable, sweet, sincere, and bright 9th grade boys entered into the walls of TTB and started their first day of yeshiva. Remember that? And what an incredible journey it has been. 4 years later, through hard work, amelus in Torah, countless muster shmuzim, hashkafic discussions, rigorous and challenging classes, and determination, you stand here today, a group of 11 individuals who are still very much impressionable, sweet, sincere, and bright, but are now young men developed into independent thinkers who are equipped with the tools and skills to face what lies ahead in your next phase of life. On a personal note, it was also my first day in TTB that September morning 4 years ago. Your freshman year was also my freshman year. And every day of yeshiva since, you guys were very much a part of each and every step of my yeshiva journey. You made the learning more geschmack, the Shabbatonim more exciting, the retreats more fun, and the ongim go way too late. I don't know how the yeshiva will be without you guys in it next year, but it certainly won't be the same. We will always have the memories to take with us of all the special times we have spent together. The shiurim, sports, the arguments, the Dunkin' runs, the laughs, the cries, and all the fun times. Especially the very memorable, incredible senior trip to Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just joking. To Tennessee. So as you exit from the walls of TTB, you should always remember how much we love you and are so proud of each and every one of you. Mazel tov. It is a pleasure to call upon Rabbi Ramchik to deliver Divrei Bracha.
I feel a tremendous sense of pride and accomplishment seeing you, our graduates. You have all used your high school years to gain and grow, and to have witnessed this growth in each one of you over your years at TTB is truly inspiring. In this past week's Parsha, the Rishonim struggled to explain why the Parsha of Nazir directly precedes the Parsha of Berachos Kohanim. The Chizkuni explains that the Kohanim are holy people devoted to the service of Hashem, just like a Nazir is Kadosh after he finishes vow of Nazirus. That the juxtaposition of the two parts of Parshas Naso is because they are both holy people. But the Chizkuni's focus on the holiness of a Nazir when he has finished his Nazirus. I would have thought that the Kedusha of a Nazir is while he is within his days of Nazirus. As he is keeping his vows, as he is abstaining from wine, as he is purifying his body to serve Hashem in an exalted way. However, the Chizkuni learns that the Kedusha mentioned is after he finishes his Nazirus, when he goes back to his mundane life, living like everybody else. As the Chizkuni says, Kishehishlim Taras Nazirasa. In order to understand this Chizkuni, it is necessary to say that there is a unique aspect of Kedusha, taking everything one has acquired and now using it in the real world. Taking the lessons one has acquired and putting them into action is something that makes it categorically different than just acquiring these tools. The ability to continue to grow and implement into everyday life what one has acquired over this intense period of Nazirus is what the Cheskuni is referring to when he says, Kishahishlam Toras Naziras. Graduates, as you sit here today, think about this lesson of the Cheskuni. You are now Hishlam Toras High School. For the past 4 years, you have worked hard and grown in so many ways. You have steiged in learning, grown as Bali Musar, you've become more sensitive and aware individuals. You have a sense what real responsibility means, and you feel a sense of achrayus for yourself, your friends, and others. What is now important is to take all that you've learned and put it into action, to implement into the everyday life what was acquired over your years in high school. Our fervent bracha to each one of you is that you succeed in doing just that the growth and development that you've achieved here at TTB becomes an integral part of your day-to-day life, and use these tools to continue your upward trajectory you are on, continuing to bring nachas to your parents, your families, Rebbeim, and all of Klal Yisrael. And I'll call upon Rabbi Schloss.
Dear graduates, it's so hard to imagine that 4 years have already gone by. But looking back, it's incredible to see how much you have grown, how much you have learned, how much you have achieved academically, and how much you have matured in your outlook on life. And how a group of 11 young men with such different personalities and aspirations have become such an incredible unit, each adding their own personality and their own talents. A group that we are so proud of, and a group of individuals that we are confident have an incredibly bright future. But let me explain the source of our tremendous confidence in this group. The Torah in this coming week's parsha describes an error, an avera done by Klal Yisrael. The Torah describes that the nation were misonanim. They complained, and they were severely punished. And the Ramban explains what took place. As the Klal Yisrael were going deeper into the Midbar, farther from civilization, they became afraid of how they will survive. How will they eat and drink and be protected deep in the desert? And as they became afraid, they started to bemoan their fate. And the Ramban explains, what was their error? Where did they go wrong? And the Ramban says, they should have marched into the Midbar with Simcha, being content after witnessing and living so much Chesed Hashem. What the Ramban is saying is that what Klal Yisrael was witnessing, entering the Midbar, was incredibly frightening. But through their appreciation of all Hashem had done, through all the great good that they had witnessed, that should have built within them such a reservoir of strength, such a reservoir of bitachon, that they could have marched into the Midbar with Simcha. And that is why we are so confident in this graduating class. Because although life will not necessarily be easy, and may come with many challenges, and legitimate ones, each of you has built an incredible reservoir of strength, an incredible reservoir of power, through incredible growth in your learning, through an incredible level of self-introspection and self-awareness. As developing into B'nai Torah, as wholesome, well-balanced young men, each of you has overcome adversity and rose to the occasion. You have sought out relationships with your Rebbeim, gaining understanding of yourselves, understanding of your purpose and aspirations, and the clarity into what life is about, through an intense and deep level of learning and connection with your Rebbeim. And with that reservoir of growth and that powerful connection to Hashem, we are confident that you will face life with strength and truly be successful. Graduates, look back and focus on how far you have come. Look at how through hard work and perseverance, how much each of you has accomplished. And look at when you surround yourself in an environment of people who want to grow,
how much that has an impact on you. And look at what happens when you make your Abayim the people you trust, and the people who develop your moral compass, for what Hashem wants you to follow. As each of you leave high school and chart your own path, remember that strength, remember that power, remember the strength and power that you're leaving yeshiva today. And as challenges come your way, use that clarity and purpose, that deep connection to Hashem and His Torah, to persevere, to face life with strength. And remember how much everyone here believes in you. Remember how proud of the incredible people you have become. Remember how much we care about you. And remember that TTB will forever be your home. We are confident that with your tremendous talents and abilities, with your dedication to living a life of Torah, that you are all headed to incredible places. May the pride and love that each of us, your Abayim, teachers, parents, grandparents, and friends feel today continue to motivate and encourage you to continue with strength the lofty path that you have set for yourselves. And may we all see you develop into the exceptional leaders and B'nai Torah we are confident that you will become. Mazel tov.
Rosh Yeshiva, Rebbeim, parents, family, and friends. The more that my classmates and I reflect on the past 4 years, the more it becomes clear what an incredible job TTB has done, setting us up for the next stage of our lives. We've grown and have been stretched, academically and hashkafically, really transforming us from immature middle schoolers to adults. There's a certain feeling, though, that it would make sense to have this kind of result if TTB was housed in a state-of-the-art building with cutting-edge technology and spacious rooms. But right now, TTB is in a bunch of trailers. There's barely enough classrooms. It's pretty cramped, and some of our classes are even given in a jail cell. A school like that shouldn't have such a strong program, producing students that are so prepared academically, so well-rounded, and so confident in who they are. That's for schools that have fancy buildings, fancy classrooms, not for schools inside the kind of facilities that TTB is in. And on the surface, it seems like a decent question. How does the yeshiva do it? But the truth is, the question doesn't even begin, because none of that really matters. That's all externals. As Chazal teach us, Rahman li b'bayit. What really matters are things like growing and learning and being educated. It's about being real, knowing where you're up to, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and moving past your comfort zone. It's about having remained more there for you when you reach out. It's about having teachers who will inconvenience themselves to make sure you really understand the material. It's about investing in accomplishing, and not trying to look good or caring what others think. And that's what TTB taught us, and that's what TTB is all about. When Rabbi Schloss came up to me in 9th grade and said, "I just wanted to let you know that my office is always open if you ever want to talk," that showed he cared. It didn't matter that practically we probably couldn't both fit in his office at the same time. Rabbi Mendel's countless Musar classes and how we're making many of our decisions based on insecurities, that taught us to be genuine and stop ruining our lives based on what others think. When one of my teachers dedicated his free time to looking up why one of my brilliant theorems isn't actually a thing, that made me think, my teacher's putting in that kind of time, I should probably do so also. When an option that one of my Rebbeim was hoping for fell through at the last moment, he came into yeshiva the next day and said, "You realize logically there's no reason for me to be upset. My job is just to do the right thing, and if it didn't work out, then obviously it wasn't the right thing to do." That was a crucial lesson in following the Ratzon Hashem. That our job is to focus on our effort and following our values, not to worry about the result or the outcome. When Rabbi Schloss would say an inspiring bar on Tefillah, he'd always start by saying, "I don't know who I am to really pretend to be so incredible at davening, but here's something I found inspiring for me." That taught us that you have to be honest with yourself in order to grow. TTB didn't have to showcase a gorgeous building or modern classrooms or spacious levels, because TTB is about things so much deeper and greater. TTB is about Torah values, the Ratzon Hashem, as the #1 priority. It's about focusing in on what's real and deep and important, not being concerned with looks or externals. It's a staff of warm, caring rebbeim and teachers who push, guide, and empower their students. And Emir Hashem, with the new building, with all those externals, TTB will take that powerful philosophy and continue building Talmidim in the amazing way they have. I'd like to thank my parents for everything they've done for me. Their love, support, and patience have guided my every other step. My grandparents as well have been and continue to be my role models. Thank you for your special love and guidance. Thank you to my rebbeim and teachers for 4 years of growth and your personal attention and patience. And finally, thank you to my classmates for an awesome 4 years together. Mir Hashem, I look forward to staying in touch as we embark on our individual journeys to life. Thank you.
The day I walked through the doors of TTB in 9th grade until today, there's always been one theme that constantly came up in school: the impending construction. We would leave in June, the last day of school, eagerly anticipating coming back in September and seeing construction vehicles all over the campus. And then we'd come back in September and nothing. We'd always ask what the holdup is, and the answer usually had something to do with either permitting or licensing or missing detail in plans, but we never really understood what that meant. Why at this point in the process do we care about 2 tiny holes in the foundation? What's the significance of that tree that for some reason it takes us 3 months to decide how to build around that? We could knock down those 10 trees, but this tree has to stay. What's the significance? The details seem so meaningless. It seems like the city was just trying to slow us down just for fun. Finally, in the middle of this past year, the construction actually began. And it was at this point that we got a glimpse into the significance of each and every slight detail. Without those 2 tiny holes in the foundation, the air conditioning wouldn't work. That tree is a result of very strict environmental guidelines that without them, Boca would look completely different. It was incredible seeing everything come together precisely as the plans indicated, and seeing how much the actual building looked like the picture hanging in Yeshiva of the building. The attention to detail was really incredible, and it was remarkable seeing just how important each detail truly was. I think the same could be said about TTB. The school has always offered many different opportunities, both during school hours and after hours. And in the moment, or in the 4 years of moments, it was hard to appreciate the significance in terms of the big picture growth. I would come in each day thinking I was the same as I was yesterday, same as I was last week, beginning of the year, even the beginning of high school. There are so many details, but they all didn't seem significant in terms of the big picture growth. But now, with visible progress in the form of the graduation, I see just how far I've come, and I have at least a slight appreciation for everything that made it possible. Every class, every shiur, every shmooze, every Musar Seder, every one-on-one with Rebbe, every oneg, every trip, every Shabbaton, it was all there for one purpose, for my personal growth. So just like when the walls of the building went up, we were able to appreciate the little details that went into it. Now that I stand up here celebrating my graduation, I appreciate my own walls going up and everything that made it true. And I want to thank the rebbeim, teachers, and staff for making it all possible. You were the driving force in helping me get to where I am today. I now have a little more understanding of just how much you devote to ensuring my success and everyone's success in the yeshiva. And I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway, that if not for you, I wouldn't be on this stage, let alone giving a speech. And now to my family, and specifically my parents. I'm sure you remember that when we first started discussing high school, I'd say TTB wasn't our first option. I'm not sure TTB was an option. But from the moment I expressed interest in TTB, you were not only supportive, but you were eager to make sure to meet with Rabbi Schloss and make sure TTB was right for me and best for my growth. You've guided me through the entire process, caring for me unconditionally, and I am eternally grateful for everything that you have done and continue to do for me. And last, but certainly not least, to my classmates. I had the privilege to put together the yearbook over the past few weeks, and it gave me the opportunity to see just how much each of us has grown physically, as well as spiritually and mentally. Looking at the pictures from the past few years brought back some pretty amazing memories, ones that I hope I never forget. Of course, every journey has its bumps, and ours was no different. But in both the good times and the bad times and everything in between, we persevered as a single unit, and ultimately, it made us stronger. I want to personally thank each of you for making my high school experience more enjoyable, memorable, and productive, and playing a pivotal role in my personal growth and growth as a class. Thank you.
Just a few thank yous. We would like to express a profound hakaras hatov to every teacher, administrator, and staff member who has played a role in these young men reaching this milestone. I'd like to also thank Ms. Zapachinsky and Ms. Bauman for arranging the Shal Shudis we had yesterday. It was quite a memorable event. We'd also like to thank and acknowledge Mrs. Lind, together with Mrs. Steinberg and Mrs. Shakit, for their spearheading and orchestrating the beautiful reception that we will be partaking in shortly. Thank you to all those who contributed to the incredible Shabbos, as well as those who gave many hours this morning in setting up. Thank you.
As we celebrate all that has been accomplished, I feel it's very appropriate to say thank you to someone who is the source of so much of what has been accomplished and so much of what TTB has become. You see, what most people don't know is 3 years ago, when the yeshiva was just in its infancy, it had just begun to really start growing. We had a philosophy of how we wanted to develop Talmidim and a vision of where we wanted to take the yeshiva, but practically quite unsure how to actuate that. In came Rabbi Bauman, and with a tremendous amount of energy and determination, he rolled up his sleeves, and with tremendous chachma, insight, and organization, we worked together to develop the protocols, the standards, clear articulation of what we were about, and what we wanted to create. And then, hand in hand, we worked together for the past 3 years, developing the yeshiva. And everything we are today is due to a great measure of all Rabbi Bauman's efforts. There are no words to express our hakaras tov for all that you have done for the yeshiva, and how much hakaras tov I personally feel to you. I could never have done this without you. Rabbi Bauman, please come on. As you move on and leave TTB this summer, we would like to present you with a bit of a unique gift. We would like to present you with this envelope, which can be redeemed for a plane ticket to our Chanukah Habayis for Ezra Hashem next year. Because after all, what you have done for TTB, we couldn't imagine having Chanukah Habayis without you. You have an incredible share in all that we have and will become. Thank you.
Thank you, Rabbi Schloss, for your kind words. It's truly been a privilege and a pleasure and loads of fun building the yeshiva together and laying the inner foundations. And Amir Hashem, may HaKadosh Baruch Hu give you and the entire yeshiva the strength, the wisdom, and the hatzlacha to continue holding the banner of Torah high and molding and inspiring Talmidim in the years to come. May Choel Ochel from strength to strength. Look forward to sharing in nachas and growth and each other's simchas, Amir Hashem, in the years to come. Mazel tov.
Chaim Baghdadi. and fun-loving personality, you have endeared yourself to your class and your Rebbeim in such a short time that at the beginning of this year, after just being here for 1 year, when you were contemplating not returning, your classmates and Rebbeim would not relent until you had decided to come back, because TTB would not be the same without you. This year, we have seen such inner growth, as you have traveled here daily with great Mesiras Nefesh, when you easily could have opted out. But you pushed through because of your true desire to develop into a Ben Torah. And you have charted your own path with a sincere yearning to grow and a drive to do what is right. And through consistent bouts of diligence, you have excelled in your learning. You have spent a great deal of time trying to figure out how you want to spend next year. You went through all your options, and then some, with no possibility left unturned. And as all missions that are L'Shem Shemayim, and it resulted in what I am confident will be a year of incredible growth. We will miss you next year, but we are sure that you will be appreciated and cherished at DEC as much as you are here. Shmuel Bauman. Shmuel, I don't know anyone else that if you're trying to find them, your options are studying in the base medrash, working on getting clarity on a step, or at his desk working on perfecting his writing and poetry skills, or swinging from a tree with a bunch of his friends. But that is Shmuel Bauman. With your incredible chukar for Chachma, there is nothing that doesn't intrigue you. To analyze, to probe, and to understand. And that is why you have excelled in everything you touch, making you the obvious choice for the academic excellence in Judaic and general studies. But it's not just your intellectual ability that makes you stand out. Your ability to get along with everyone, and your level of care that you have shown for your friends, has shown that your heart is as powerful as your mind. It is clear you are headed somewhere very great. Now you just need to analyze and figure out exactly where it is and how to get there in the shortest distance, of course, with a chart and a graph. Mazel tov. Shmuel Gantrell. Shmuel, you are the person who is always where he's supposed to be, doing what he's supposed to be doing. The person who can always be counted on to have his tefillin on at 7:29, ready to start brachos. We are all nervous we'll never be replaced. But although you make it seem so natural, we are not fooled. We realize that behind that perfect veneer is an incredibly bright, driven young man who has a very real desire to grow, who has not only excelled in all his studies from the time he entered our doors, but has really developed an incredible precision in his learning and an acuteness and sharpness in all subjects, making you the perfect person to receive the TTB Award for Academic Distinction in Judaic and General Studies. Although naturally quiet and soft-spoken, you are incredibly articulate, witty and capable of seeing through all the clutter, and making sure that when you feel it is appropriate, what you feel is correct, is heard with clarity. But what I am most amazed at is that most people who do everything as well as you do expect that from others. But not you. You are the perfectionist who always understands and respects everyone else's imperfections, making you loved and appreciated by all your peers. Shmuel, with your innate abilities and drive to grow, we are confident that you will reach anywhere you want to go, unless, of course, you're driving an ATV. Mazel tov. Moshe Containers. Moshe, you came into TTB, one of the most sincere, hardworking ninth graders I have ever seen. But that did not prepare me for the deep, sophisticated, confident, and sincere Ben Torah you have become. Always interested in seeking out your Rebbeim for general hashkafa, as well as personal hadracha, opening yourself up to their advice, no matter how challenging it may be, because growing and doing what is correct is just who you are. Through your hard work and sincerity, you have become a real Lamdan, who in 12th grade managed to learn over 5 hours of Bikiyas a day and joined our base medrash so seamlessly that it's hard to understand what took me so long to move you, which I'm sure you're still wondering about. Moshe, we are so proud of you and who you have become, and are very excited that you have decided to stay in our base medrash. Brian Knopf. Brian, to be honest, when I met with your brother-in-law in the summer, I was quite apprehensive to the idea of you joining our 12th grade. But had I known then what I know now, I would have flown to Detroit myself to recruit you. You have become such a part of the fabric of 12th grade and of TTB. From the moment you got here, everyone has been astounded at your sincerity and the seriousness with which you have taken your learning, catapulting you in just 1 year to a place far beyond anything anyone could have imagined, certainly yourself. We all owe you a tremendous amount of gratitude for the tireless efforts you put into making senior year so successful. You are the perfect balance of an incredibly hard worker, making sure that every little nuance is covered. But you do it with such incredible middos and selflessness, you make it seem effortless. We feel so privileged that TTB had the opportunity to play this step on your road to great things, which we are confident is the next step on your path. Yaakov Lenches. Yaakov, you are the guy everybody wants to be around because you have an incredible balance of being fun-loving, carefree, and hilariously funny, while at the same time so caring and sensitive, so careful never to slightly insult or hurt anyone in any way, and capable of having the most real and deep conversations. Yaakov, although in our many discussions we didn't always see eye to eye, I have never stopped being awed at your level of respect, which comes from the strongest sense of truth and genuine and deep good that you are. If I were to write a dictionary by the word authentic, I would put your picture. You are the real deal, through and through. But after 4 years, I can honestly say I have never once seen you do something you don't believe to your core is correct. Yaakov, you are very bright and incredibly hard worker, and I am confident with your incredible drive for truth, you have a very bright future on the horizon. We are so proud of your decision to spend next year at DEC, but just remember, you will always be a TTB Talmud. Yitzi Lind. Yitzi, you have a smile that lights up the room. Unless, of course, it's covered by your hair. But the reality is, we all know why your smile is so powerful. And that is because it emanates from the deepest place, your loving heart. You are the epitome of a good neshama. You are so good, so caring, so appreciative and perceptive, so sensitive, so helpful, so giving. I'm not sure if you ever finished an entire snack without sharing it with everyone around. You're almost impossible to bother or get upset. That is, unless someone else is being hurt or treated unfairly. But it doesn't stop with how you deal with others. You are so real and genuine, and have such an incredible drive for witness and growth. You have such a deep connection to doing what's right, and a unique appreciation for Torah. And this has led you to take your learning very seriously, and open yourself up to your Rebbeim, and really push to become the person you really want to be. Yitzi, all I can tell you is keep growing and steiging, and make sure your heart is in it. Because we all know, with your incredible heart, there's nothing you can't do. Mazel tov. The Sano ring line. Sano, it's hard to imagine TTB without you. You are a born leader with a tremendous sense of achrayus, a real doer who has been running, helping, and adding an incredible amount of excitement and enthusiasm to every Shabbaton, every Mesiba, and of course, every fundraising event since the moment you stepped foot in TTB. And it is for this reason you are the recipient of the TTB Service Award. But the reality is, there is another service that you provided, one that is not as easily seen, but possibly even more impactful. With your heart of gold and deep level of sincerity, you connected to the yeshiva and your Rebbeim in such a profound way that you have made it clear to everyone there's nothing you wouldn't do for the yeshiva, and have become the poster boy of what it means to be on the TTB team. You have the most determination of anyone I've ever seen. An Atlanta trip didn't stand a chance. And when you set your mind to something, there is no stopping it. Possible or impossible, it gets done. And that is why you have been so incredibly successful over the last 4 years. Nisano, we are so proud of you, and are confident that you are going to do great at Centers next year. But just remember, you may be retiring your number, but you are forever part of the TTB team. Tani Shaka. Tani, from the first day any of your band met you, you had this spark, this charisma, this powerful and magnetic personality that was clear you were headed to greatness and going to play an incredible role in shaping TTB over the next 4 years. And from our first one-on-two for hair, your powerful personality has led every shir, every oneg, every breakfast discussion, every league game, and every argument to defend yourself and your peers from receiving their rightful consequence. But unlike every fairy tale story, it's not the amazing personality or innate talents that create success. Life is not so predictable or easy. It is the stubbornness to keep pushing when the going gets rough that allows one to develop into someone who is genuinely great. And that is why we are confident you are headed for greatness. Because over the last 4 years, you have developed in your learning through sincere hard work and sweat, but even more, because you have created a bond with your Rebbeim through working on their hashkafa, through seeking their friendship and their advice, even when it was far from what you wanted to hear. But your sincerity and yearning to grow kept you pushing, fighting to develop, to become the genuine Ben Torah you were destined to become. As you leave TTB and head to Torah's Chaim Eretz Yisrael, we all know you are going to soar, and that drive to become will continue to flourish. Just continue to know how much we all believe in you, and and how proud of you we are. Awesome. Yosef Steinberg. Yosef, you possess a clarity, a picture, and a drive to become a Ben Torah that runs so deep, is so a part of who you are, that I don't believe it has a duplicate. And although the path to get there was never as simple or as straightforward as you may have hoped, you always had your eye on your target. You never veered or questioned what and who you want to become, and never confused right from wrong. And it is that drive that has taken you so incredibly far. And it is that drive that will continue to take you to that very lofty goal we know lies ahead. You are an incredible Balach Rais who genuinely cares about the growth of others. And with your very keen understanding of others, their needs and feelings, and your own deep hargasha, while still being such a geschmack normal guy, you have become a leader who has had a profound influence on many underclassmen. You are truly a gem who has only just begun to shine. Awesome. Yisrael will catch. Yisrael, as a Rebbe and principal, there are many incredibly rewarding times where I feel I've had the opportunity to play a role in some way in someone's growth or positive decision. But I must tell you, standing up here with you now is one of my proudest moments. You are one of the brightest, thought-out, deep-thinking, talented young men who has produced every open house video, graduation video, and even put together the tune that is playing as I'm speaking. You are smarter and have a greater thirst for knowledge and developing that knowledge than anyone I have ever met. But due to your deep connection to Yiddishkeit and appreciation for all those close to you, you held yourself back temporarily from so much of your aspirations to make sure you spent your most critical years in yeshiva and in the community that will give you the clarity to face the rest of your life with that attachment and devotion to what is most important, a relationship with Hashem. Yisrael, you are a true success story, and we are so proud of all that you have accomplished here, and are so proud that you are a TTB graduate.
On behalf of the graduating class of 2019, we would like to express our tremendous hakaras hatov to all the Rebbeim by giving the yeshiva a small token of our appreciation. Although we are not going to be able to learn the new base medrash, we would like to sponsor Svarim for it, so we will always be a part of the incredible TTB learning that takes place each and every day. So thank you so much from all of our Rebbeim for helping us grow. We love you so much. Professor Palley, before in class.
Most people think that grades are the most important thing in high school. The kids come home from school, the parents are like, you could have done better on that test. Test after test, study, study, study. Don't get me wrong, grades are very important. But there's another aspect. The aspect of who you are, who you became, how you matured into a young adult, took the lessons from your friends, from your rebbeim, even your own failures and successes to prepare yourself for the journey ahead. TTP is a place where you learn, you steig, you grow, meet new people, have new experiences. It's a place that feels like home. It really is. It's a place where you feel comfortable with who you are, you can be who you are, and people are just there to support you. They're just there for you. You could say they are or they aren't, you're upset with this one or that one, but at the end of the day, they're there for you, and that's the place where I want to be. Last week, the seniors created a video. Actually, you kind of just spoken it. Yisrael created it. Thank you so much, Yisrael. But it's just a line to share our appreciation to our yeshiva. And to be honest, every single word is true. Every single word is from the heart. And we all sincerely feel it, we see it, and we feel the warmth and we feel the care that the yeshiva gives to us. You know, people come to visit, these guys from this state or that state, and it's one thing for their rebbeim to go over and welcome the boy, but it's another for the guys to come over to the visitor. It's not the guest coming over to us saying, "Hi, how are you?" It's us going to him. To feel the warmth that the guys are going over to guys that are not necessarily coming to the yeshiva next year, and the fact that the unity and the optos TTB brings, and the guys that are involved is just amazing. And I owe everything to TTB. You made me the person I am today, and I don't know what I would do without you guys. I would like to thank my parents for always being by my side, always encouraging me to reach my full potential. I cannot thank you enough. And yes, Ma, I will miss you when I'm in Israel next year. I want to thank my grandparents for everything that they do. You know, it's tough. I lost both grandfathers in the same year. But with the rebbeim, my friends, and just the whole TTB staff, I cannot thank you guys enough for what you guys have done for me. You know, I might be leaving, but I'm always here. But I know my grandfathers are both up there looking down at me and are so proud of the person I am today and the things that I accomplished. I'm going to take the lessons that they taught me, that you can't take anything for granted. And 4 years ago, I took advantage and I made the decision to come to TTB. And it was the best decision of my life. I will miss the boys back there. And thank you guys so much. I hope you guys enjoy the video.